Hey, look who I brought! We're back here on the question couch, getting ready to answer some of your fucking questions in my fag socks. You ready for this?
I am.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Will America see a race war soon? Will Europe have one shortly after?
America's got an assload of guns. I think we have, what, 8 per person on the face in the continent, United States?
Quite a lot, yeah.
That's a lot of goddamn
And
guns.
yet we're still like way down there on the gun violence spectrum. But don't tell a libtard that.
Yeah, we are pretty low on the gun violence thing. Yes, there are some mass shootings and they're terrible. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Isn't that like saying the sky is blue?
Yeah.
Mass shootings are terrible.
Yeah, I just get really upset about that kind of stuff. But there's really not much we can do about it. We're an armed society.
People are crazy.
We have to get used to it, and I'm tired of these leftists crying about it. And it's a funny thing. A lot of these mass shootings take place in gun-free zones.
Yeah, it's kind of a coincidence,
Wow.
don't you think?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to carry a gun to protect yourself.
Yeah. So basically, you go to this area, you have become active shooter bait. It's pretty much it.
And as long as we live in a country that, you know, where the media continues to like legitimize rioting as a form of protest, you know, where people are kicking the shit out of cops and chanting, what do we want dead cops, when do we want them now? Shit like this is going to become more common, and it's not going to be the people, in the red states who have their guns locked away in a safe and actually appreciate their Second Amendment rights. It's going to be these fucking ass bags who are going to be showing up in the gun-free zones with this shit, just like that Muslim student in Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
he just ran around fucking stabbing people. You don't need a gun to do damage either.
Well, just look at the guys with the trucks, the truck killings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I've studied insurgents warfare. It's one of my specialties. PsyOps. I was an airborne ranger paratrooper. I mean, I did it all. And we are really close to actually forming, of the left forming an effective front to start a revolution or a civil war. And all it takes is a few more logs on the fire, and then it's going to go, and then it's going to get ugly.
What about Europe? What do you think about what's going on over there?
Well, you're going to see a pretty big clash as more Muslims move in there and they try to turn it to their society, their culture. It's going to be another Kosovo.
Yeah, France is officially kicking back. I guess their number one candidate right now kind of surged ahead in the polls. She's a populist candidate, wants to have their own EU referendum like Brexit.
Yeah.
So we're already kind of seeing, some pushing back over in that side of the world. I mean, we had Brexit, and then we had the election of Trump, and now we're going to have this if things in France continue to go the way that they're going. People are they're sick and tired of being told that they need to be ashamed of their nationalist identities. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of where you came from, being proud of the values that, makes your country what it is. Does every country have everything to be proud of? No. But we basically played the biggest game of football in history that spanned this entire country, and it was the Pilgrims versus the fucking Indians, and they beat them into the end zone and then forced them onto Alcatraz. That was some shit. That was admittedly some shit, and Native Americans could have a legitimate beef about that, but you don't.
Dude, we talked about that in Dick Moves, the OG of Dick Moves, giving them blankets with smallpox on them. Yeah, that's good.
Smallpox blankets is
that's a special kind of fucked up.
Incredible birthday present.
Well, yeah, I guess you could put it like that. It would be an incredible day.
For your ex-wife.
That'd be an incredible gift to give your ex-wife, yes.
I'd sign up to see that. Smallpox blankets, incredible birthday present.
You're really going to love it. It's a little scratchy, but you'll be all right.
It's a little scratchy. Is this scabies? No, it's smallpox, baby. What? Nothing.
Doesn't matter, you'll be dead by morning.
Go about your day.
Is there an interest or possibility of a 5K GoFundMe effort to secure a real shrunken head for the set to symbolize the shrunken wallets that women are causing us?
Well, we can see what we can do. I mean, the thing is
hey,
real shrunken heads, you have to get them from people who have museums or have. I mean, I can get it. I can get pretty much anything I want. I'm a Green Beret. If I have the will, I'll make some phone calls, but it's not going to be cheap.
I'm sure you could find a Nigerian prince out there with some fucked up hobbies.
Yeah, there's always.
I mean, they email me all the time trying to give me money. I just keep telling them, dude. I mean, I know that I work in a basement, but I'm okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah. I actually have to find that shrunken head. I'm sure my mother put it somewhere.
And we're gonna try to get it on here for you guys. You just got to find it. But hey, you know what? If there's a fan out there who wants to start a GoFundMe page to get us a shrunken head,
I'm cool with that.
I would pay to see the reactions. You know, we'll find a couple of unsuspecting schmucks to open the box.
Yeah, see, I own a house in Michigan, and my mother and sister now live in it because, you know, they are OPP, and they didn't plan well for their life. And I'm the only one with a career, and I wind up paying for everything. So it kind of sucks. But what are you going to do with your mother, you know?
Yeah. And when mom doesn't want you to have a shrunken head and you're not around because you're in
She
New
hides
York
it.
all
She
the
hides
time,
it, and I have to go find it.
Got to play 3 shell Monty with the shrunken head.
Yeah, the fight was golden, though. I remember I put it up there on the fireplace, and I didn't say nothing about it. I was just watching TV, and she like walks by, and she comes back. She looks. She goes, "What is that?" I go, "That's my shrunken head. I'm going to keep it on my fireplace." No, you can't have it. Oh yes, and we went on for like hours. It was hilarious.
Pop, could you share the stories that Blake wouldn't? I wouldn't mind growing some more body hair.
All right, we're gonna go back to. I was a private first class in the 9th Infantry Division. We just came back from an exercise in Yakima Firing Center. It was winter, and I think I had mild pneumonia or something. I had a fever of like 103.
So good times.
Yeah. So my team leader, you know, takes me down to the hospital, the Madigan, and I wait around in the room where all the other sick people are. And there's a newbie there. He's like just out of AIT or basic, I don't know. And he was like, he's being just too helpful and kind of clumsy. And then this nurse comes in and says, "Hey, you just sit down there and don't move. You know, we'll get you in a minute." So she leaves. He gets up. He wheels over the thing to me to give me like touch my thermometer, puts it under my tongue. Then she walks in and she says, "Listen, I told you not to touch anything, and that's an anal thermometer." So like I instantly spit it out, and without missing a beat, my team leader was reading a Time magazine. He's just like, "Don't worry about it, Pop. It's only been in 1,000 assholes." So like I'm wearing like this tinfoil blanket. I get up. I'm throttling this guy. So they break it up. I didn't punch him or anything, but they usually gave me Motrin, told me to drink water, which is pretty much the universal cure in the infantry for anything.
Motrin and water?
Yeah, just take some Motrin, have some water, you'll be fine.
Eating shit? Motrin and water.
Yeah, there's a bone hanging on your leg, have some Motrin, you'll be fine. But
You get
like,
shot in the ass, walk it off.
well, apparently, like this little altercation between me and dumbass, it went all the way up to the general who ran 9th Infantry Division. Then it came all the way down to my battalion. So by the time I came from the hospital back to the company area to go to put on 48 hours of bed rest, I have to go see the colonel. I get there, and the story went from like it started off with this little altercation where I just shook a guy, throttled him like maybe 3 times. I mean, I was sick, I was weak. And then by the time I came back to think, I punched a nurse, I flipped over a couch, I punched holes in the wall, I put a guy in the hospital, and I'm like, what the? So I'm in there, and you know, and they're yelling at me. They're gonna slam fuck me down to E1 and take like 2 months pay. I mean, they're going for it. And my team leader is just like, "Sir, on Pop's side, the asshole put an anal thermometer in his mouth," and like instantly, you saw everyone just like, oh shit, oh, and then that was it. I didn't get any trouble at all. I just got sent to my room for 2 days to sleep it off.
Yeah, I would say getting shit in the mouth is a good cause for a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Especially when you're all, like fucking out of your gourd with fever and pneumonia and retard strong.
I had a 103.5.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I mean, it's a couple degrees away from cooking your brain still, but it's pretty good fever.
Like I went to the aid station like 2 days prior to that, once every day, and they have like this checklist. They take your temperature. Oh, you're only 102. Go to bed. You're fine. Yeah. It doesn't really mean anything until you get to 103. What a bunch of assholes.
Up till then, walk it off.
Yeah, that was 3 armies ago when the army used to be tough. Now it's, for the most part, it's a hollow shell of what it used to be. That's just my opinion. I love the Army. It did a lot for me, but I wish I could leave it better than I found it.
If you want to hear some more Army stories, we've been talking about this. Could do some fireside chats.
Yeah, fireside chats. I mean, I'll be there. I'll share some of my stories. I can bring other vets in. They can tell their. I mean, I have a friend of mine. He's retired now. He's triple retired.
Triple retired?
Yeah, from a state job, Ford, and then from the military. And he also gets Social Security, so he's got 4 pensions.
Oh,
He's
nice.
swimming in cash. But and he was in Vietnam, and he had 2 gunboats shot out from underneath him. Like it was taking on so much water They just went out into the ocean, called the Navy to come out with a cutter, and they carried everything over on a plank. And then, just as the other ship was going underwater, I mean, it was unsalvageable. He had that happen to him 2 times. I'm like, that's a bad mother jammer right there.
Yeah, let's get him out here. Shit, I want to hear that story.
Yeah, we call him Skipper.
This is for both of you. Are y'all gonna do a vid on the kidnapped gent tortured by the savages?
I was waiting for this one.
Oh, yeah.
I knew somebody was going to ask about that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking into that. I'm trying to get I know people. I'm trying to get some inside information. I'm trying to get some a line on why they were arguing about charging a hate crime.
That still kind of blows my mind.
That is what I saw on the TV. Now, granted, I don't know the backstory. Maybe he was throwing horseshoes at these people or something in the suburbs, and then they took him to the suburbs back there and beat him up and scalped him or whatever the hell they did. I mean, that is about as cut and dry as it gets.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're on camera screaming, "Fuck Donald Trump, fuck white people."
make him drink toilet water? I mean, Jesus.
If there was another video where you had 4 white dudes tying up a special needs black kid screaming, "Fuck Barack Obama, fuck black people," there would have been no hesitation.
Life in prison.
Life in prison. They would have
Life in prison.
crucified
Yep.
those people. It would not have been a discussion at all. The fact that there was even a debate, I mean, granted, the DA did go ahead and actually prosecute it as a hate crime, winning for that guy, but come on. Was there any doubt in anybody's mind who's not a complete idiot?
I got a severe problem with the hate crime stuff because, I've looked into some of the stats and I need to get, polish this up more, but from what I've been able to read, a large percentage of people get charged with hate crimes are white people.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, like, hate crimes are to racism what rape is to feminism. Feminism is trying to redefine rape so that they can make it a blanket statement against only men.
Okay,
and then you've got racists trying to redefine hate crimes so that it applies to only whites. They're trying to redefine, not even redefining hate crime, but redefining what racism is. It's like, oh, well, you can't be racist unless you have institutional power to back you up.
What?
Like, that makes no sense at all.
Look,
And apparently now you can have black friends and still be a racist too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these words are losing any and all fucking meaning.
it's stupid. It's stupid.
It's pathetic.
So, I mean, like, if somebody took a bat and hit me because they don't have any institutional power, it's not a hate crime or racist.
If a black dude comes up to you, like, or say, some Muslim chick came up to you on the street wearing her burqa and decided to club you in the head with the fucking Quran.
Yeah.
And calls you a white devil or an infidel or some shit, okay? That is not going to be considered a hate crime because Muslims do not have institutional power.
Correct.
That's not racism.
That is so stupid.
Like,
so stupid.
racism is racism. I don't give a fuck what color you are. If you have a blind, seething hatred toward people of another, race just because, you're a racist. It doesn't matter.
And you act on it.
And you act, well...
There's some people out there that just don't like certain things.
Well, that's the hate crime angle. It's like because you can have racist feelings and be a racist and not actually go out and commit a hate crime.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people out there who just like to talk shit.
Yeah.
And not all of the SJW thought policing in the world is going to change the minds of those people, and it's not going to make them go away.
I don't even argue with them. Social justice words, I don't waste my time. I just walk right by them like they don't exist.
I was having a discussion, if you want to call it that, with an ass bag on Facebook the other day about this whole golden showergate incident with Trump.
Oh, my Lord.
And it's like, oh, I don't agree with what you're saying. I'm like, okay, well, what's your source? And he kept explaining what his argument was. Like, I don't give a fuck what your argument is. What's your source? Guess what source he posted as his news source?
BuzzFeed?
BuzzFeed. It's like, dude, BuzzFeed are the one, they've got their balls on the fucking chopping block over this shit. Do you really think they're not going to come out and try to do some serious damage control at this point?
Yeah. It's getting to the point where people need to get sued.
Yes, they need to get sued.
People need to get sued.
Trump needs to pull a Gawker. He needs to do what Hogan did. He took down that website single-handedly. That needs to happen to BuzzFeed because it is a fucking...
Yeah.
It's a herpes outbreak on the ass of America.
Yeah.
Not that I would know about that or anything, but I'm just
It's
saying.
a pimple on the wart of the ass of America.
You gotta pop this one. Oh wait, there's another one underneath.
Gotta dig that
I'm gonna
out.
Pop that one. Oh look, there's Lacey Green. I gotta pop that one.
That's a lot of weddings. Any idea how many ended in divorce so far?
Well, the thing about shooting 400 to 500 weddings in 10 years is that, for the most part, you don't see or hear from these people ever again. Most of them were freelance gigs. So I shoot the shit and I pass it off You know, I put on, you know, the amicable face for a day. I'm the nice dude. I go in and I do my job and then I hand it off. Somebody else takes care of it. I never have to answer for it again. So if I hear about that, well, statistically, half of them are going to be divorced by now.
By 7 years.
Or at least the ones within the first 3 years that I was doing this. But I know for sure that the first 3 couples whose weddings I ever shot are all divorced. And Matt, if you're watching this, love you, bro. But
it happens,
he's
man.
a fan now.
Yeah.
He's a fan. He told me that he watches the show. So
is he one and done, or is he going to do it again?
I'm pretty sure he's going to be
One and done, man. Listen, everyone's got a right to be a sucker one time. If you're smart, you don't do it at all. But if you have to, like, well, I'm different, the rules don't apply to me, then go ahead. Go ahead and see what happens to you.
If you learn from your mistakes, cool. But never ever trust somebody when they say that they're different, because everybody thinks that they're different. Everybody thinks they're a beautiful and unique snowflake.
You know how many times I've heard I'm different, like since I got divorced? Like probably 4 or 5 times a year. I'm different, I'm not like all them. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. You'd be better off just showing up to, you know, going on a date with me like, fuck you, Pop, let's do this. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
Don't try to hide it. You want to be a bitch up front. I can respect that.
Yeah.
I hate the backstabbing bitches.
No, and that's pretty much what happened to.
Yeah. How you doing?
I mean, the third couple, I don't know what happened to them, but I called that shit in divorce before I even gave them their damn video. The first 2, well, it's one of those things. Hindsight is 20/20. Had they gotten married yesterday, I would have been like, hey, this is not happening. The first couple, that one was actually kind of a surprise because they were together for fucking ever.
Oh yeah.
And his wife was kind of hot, except now she does this thing with her eyebrows, and it kind of makes it look like like a caterpillar fucked Peter Gallagher. It looks pretty raunch. But as far as all the rest of them, I know for a fact of at least a dozen couples that I've shot for over the years who were all divorced. And then there's some who just surprise the living shit out of you. The bride that I was telling you about last week, who grabbed a handfuls of my ass and I had my hands up, don't shoot moment. They are still married. And when you know that kind of trouble is coming down the tubes, that's kind of amazing. Either that or he's just doing one of these.
Yeah, that does happen.
Maybe she just gives really good head.
Maybe she's good at hiding it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, my ex-wife was good at hiding it. What are you gonna do?
But for this long? I mean, this was 2007 that I shot that wedding, so it's been
you never know. I mean, listen, I did not expect what happened in my divorce to happen. I didn't even see it coming. Maybe it was because I was recovering from a head injury. I don't know, but
if you were at your wedding, if it was at your wedding, and your wife was like fondling the help,
that'd be a problem.
That would be a problem.
Like,
you would have to kind of switch on that fuse in your brain, thinking, okay, this could conceivably be a problem in the next 4 to 7 years.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, there were some things that I noticed that I just...
You turn a blind eye to, because you're like, oh, she would never do that to me.
Yeah, because I'm different and the rules don't apply to me.
She was young, you know. Yeah. She was young.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. No, you're not. And yes, they do. That's what most people find out. Yeah. That's the basis of any bad decision. Is you think you're different, or you think you're special, and the rules don't apply to you. You will find out in short order that no, you're not. And yes, they fucking do.
Every time.
Every time.
There are rules for a reason. Rules may be, instituted to be broken, and there are exceptions to every rule, but they are very few and far between.
Quick question about your profession. Are there any female wedding videographers?
I get that all the time, videographer. My second shooter's a chick. So it took me a long time to find somebody that I would actually trust with my brand when I'm out there shooting weddings, but she's really good. Yeah, so they exist. Actually, there's probably not too many of them. I've maybe seen half a dozen in the last 10 years, chick videographers.
I don't know, maybe it's just a women temperament or something. It's a pretty cushy job. They could do it easy.
I mean, I would say that when it comes to editing wedding videos, chicks are probably better at it. There's something about...
more attention to detail. Plus
it's not even really so much the attention to detail, is that they're the ones who have the dream wedding.
Yeah.
Dudes don't, throw a towel
care.
Or like a fucking doily over their head when they're 5 years old and, grab a handful of dandelions from the grass outside and walk around dreaming about their wedding and shit.
What?
Chicks do that.
Chicks do that.
If they grow up and they become wedding
if
video
you have a young boy that
editors,
does that, he's got some sugar in his tank.
Hey.
I'd say, hey, you need to nip that stuff early.
Take care of that shit. But I think that's kind of why women tend to make better video editors for weddings than dudes, is because they are the ones who grow up kind of understanding that dream.
So you're saying they're emotionally
They
vested into
they
it.
can become emotionally attached to the people in the video, and they really pay attention to words and what words mean. And that is why women are so good at emotional arguments.
Yeah.
Because even if you say something, like Popp and I could say the same exact thing to each other, and we're gonna be like, whatever. You take the exact same thing and you say it to your wife or your girlfriend, and they're going to read between the lines, and it could potentially become a fight.
Yep. And you don't want to have an argument by Braille, because that's when the cops come.
I mean, hell, I got friends who used to work in the emergency room then at Detroit Mercy.
Oh.
People come in there getting stabbed for the dumbest shit you've ever seen.
Oh my God.
Like, chicks haul off, stab the dude in the chest with a fork, and then drive his ass to the emergency room.
No.
Why'd she stab you? I ate the last of her potato chips.
What the fuck? No,
Go to the fucking store and buy some more.
Yeah.
Bet you can't eat just one.
I bet you can't.
It's the one chip challenge. You know what? That was something I was tempted to do on this show.
What?
Just to fuck with you.
What?
You like spicy shit?
I could eat it.
Okay. There's this thing. It's called the one chip challenge. It's, I forget exactly the brand of it now, but this chip is so damn spicy, they only send you one. And it comes in a coffin.
Dude, I'm not gonna
And then
eat
you
that.
open it up, and it's wrapped up, and then you eat one of it. And it's supposed to be just like hell. Hell in your mouth.
I don't need that. I don't need that. I like a little spicy, but I don't like to lose skin over it. If my tongue is a big blister, that's not good. That's
I'd
not.
bring you like a gallon of milk.
It's so hot. Oh God.
I'll put a link up here to actually the funniest video that I've seen of that. It was Brad Jones over at Cinema Snob doing the one chip challenge. It was hilarious. He's trying to like chug a half gallon of milk, and he's like, "Don't let them see you cry, Jones."
Oh, I can't do that.
If your food arrives in a coffin, you know it's bad news.
It's a bad sign.
Instead of moving forward and removing female suffrage, why don't we move forward and institute female responsibility?
I would love that. Oh, golf clap. Yes.
And again, we have to say this because it seems to come up a lot. Like, there was actually a comment on the single mothers video that I thought that you could have handled a little better, just because I know how women are.
I ripped into her. Yeah.
There was a woman whose fiance died while she was pregnant,
Yeah.
and instead of being like, you know what, widows are okay. You know, like, we're not going to hold you to the same standard. You explained why we made the video the way that we did, and she.
Yeah, I know, and she thought it applied to her. I remember that one. I explained to her. I used
we've
stats.
talked about that.
I use stats, and I'm telling the truth, and I'm taking a 1/40,000 picture of the whole thing. I'm not boiling it down to each individual case. You know, I'm just saying.
In comedy, sometimes you just got to generalize. You know, we're not saying that this shit applies to every
everyone.
chick. It doesn't apply to every chick. I mean,
Just saying a majority.
because I mean, majority of our viewership are dudes. It's like 96% dudes or something like that.
That's good.
So we do have some chick fans out
only
there. They do
4%.
exist. We got a lot of couples.
Somebody's got to give us the downvotes. I mean,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's like 6 people who subscribe to the channel just to download our shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have couples who watch our show, married couples, single
Yeah, I
couples.
read that one.
Obviously, there are people out there, there are women out there who do embrace the idea of true equality, egalitarianism, not feminism. So they do exist, and there's people out there who just want everybody else to take responsibility for their shit. And you and I have dated our fair share of women like that.
They want all the benefits and none of the headaches.
Yep. I want equality, but I kind of want special privileges too. Like, can I have the right to vote, but that whole thing where I have to be drafted and go over and fucking die and shit, can we leave that out?
Yeah.
Please?
But I have until I can see half of all the workplace deaths are women, they have no argument. They have no argument.
Well, I only want equality when it's in like an air-conditioned office, but you know what? That's sexist too.
Yeah.
And this job over here that's nice and cushy, and all the science jobs that women really don't like doing, can we have equality in those jobs? You know, equality of outcome, not effort, not opportunity.
And that's really where it just kind of, that's where this whole thing of, you know, women not embracing responsibility comes from. It's not from the average women. It's from the mouthpieces out there who won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Like that redheaded chick, I hate that woman.
Chanty Binks,
I
think is her
hope
name.
I hope I never come across her in real life. I don't think I could handle her like speaking that shrill of a voice at me.
I'd probably stuff an apple in her mouth and then,
I'd probably put the earplugs in and just ignore her. But
well, I could do both.
yeah,
There is nothing wrong with 2 steps of risk reduction.
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you go on, you condomize it, and then you make the chick go on the pill, right? So why wouldn't you stuff something in her mouth and then stuff something in your ears?
I don't know.
Or you
You
could
put it like that, it makes so much more sense.
And yeah, and you could take her to Hawaii, put her on the spit roast.
Yeah.
There's some women that you would bang if you could put a bag over their head, and there's others that you would bang only if they had a ball gag in their mouth.
Well, you know what? Bill Burr put it, I mean, he hit it right on the head. He's like, he was doing this one comedy skit. He's like, every male in this room is already programmed to fuck 80% of all the women in here. But what he didn't mention is that sick 10% that would fuck everyone in the, and all they need is a 6-pack and imagination.
This is true.
Those guys are crazy.
This is very
He did not
true.
mention that, because when you put that 10% in there, that's bad.
And this is another thing that we're just kind of going all over the place here, but this is another thing that I've pointed out too. And I get shit for pointing this out to women, even women who I would call my friends, but I've been saying this for years. Women are 10 times more shallow than even the average jock.
What?
Because there is not a dude out there who has not banged a chick that he would consider questionable in good light.
Oh, yeah.
Every dude has just let the beer goggles go on and be like,
It's a solid 4. It's a
"Yeah,
solid 4.
It's a solid 4.
Solid
but
4.
You cut her off at the neck, she becomes like a 7.
Yeah, I'm going to do a video on that, the sliding beer scale. We just need to work on it a little more.
She's not looking too bad from the neck down. I can work with that. I'll just look away. Or make her, just bang her from behind. I don't have to look at that shit. Maybe she's got a tattoo on her back that I can, play shoots and ladders with or some shit.
Yeah, you never know.
Something to keep you entertained. There's every dude out there. I mean, there's
They've all
maybe not everyone. There's maybe a handful out there who.
Listen, if you've ever been a wingman, you fell on the grenade, and the grenade is usually a solid 4.
There's going to be some people in the comments who are going to be like, I would never bang a chick who was less than an 8.
And get out of here.
And that's why your best relationship is with your hand. But I think it's safe to say that most of us, probably a pretty good honking majority, have fallen on the grenade, or at least woken up in the morning and been like, you know what? In this light, what the fuck was I thinking?
I'm out.
There is not one chick out there who has done that.
I haven't banged before? No.
You put a dude in a room with a chick who is overweight, but funny, and has a good personality. Eventually, he will come around to a way of thinking and be like, you know what?
I'll hit
Kind
that.
of a cool chick. I'd hit that. You're not going to annoy me afterwards.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this. But you put a solid 7.5 or higher chick in a room with a
4.
dude with a pot belly, who's like, eating chicken off of the bone, just the skin, and then he gives it,
Ain't gonna happen.
gives the rest away. Never gonna happen.
Nope.
No,
You are
no.
correct.
Not in a million years.
Ah.
And there are other women out there who do stupid shit and wake up next to a dude that they don't like, yeah. But the difference between the dude waking up to the chick that doesn't really look too good in the light,
Yeah.
and a chick waking up to a dude who doesn't look as good, is that only one of us gets to cry rape.
Yes.
Love the show. 2 questions. Do you live in a trailer? The paddling and the red IKEA couch makes me believe that you are not the most prosperous.
No, this is not a trailer. This is a basement. Actually, somebody asked me if my wife kicked me down to the basement or some shit. In the
just tell them
comments
to troll
too.
hole in it.
I answered. I was like, no, we're not. This isn't. We troll holes strictly for work. This is actually the house that I grew up in. I live about 15 minutes from here, but I drive here because it's quiet. I have a 2-year-old son, and he has 2-year-old playmates who are over 5 days a week. So this is my safe haven. This is where I get to go and actually edit in the quiet. And I give some money to my mom. It helps her out.
Well, since I'm an evil genius, I don't have a home in New York, in Utica, New York. I have a lair.
Yes.
It's a lair, man. It's not a home. It's
We're
a
gonna
lair.
try to get these Q&As going to where Popp can do them with his webcam live stream, and you're gonna see the fucking swords and shit up on his wall. I mean, it looks like a medieval knight lives there.
I'm a hoarder. I have a problem. I'm a war hoarder. I hoard war shit.
And you're a pile guy.
Yeah, I have like all kinds of equipment from like 30 years of swords, guns, ammo, whatever. I mean, it's me. It's my hobby. It's what I do. I've been studying war since I was like 12.
That's it. So you got an obsession with war, and then you add to that zombie shopping.
Yeah. Oh
and then
shit.
You have a lair.
Well, I mean, you put it this way. Like I did like all the modern warfare shit for like 28 years before I got bored with it, and then I started actually doing like live steel fighting and armor. Talk about it. That's a hell of a workout. I like that.
Okay, now that is something that we should get video of.
Yeah. I'll get back into it.
Can Popp do a video on how to avoid an ID card chasing depend upon
Oh my
us?
God. Yeah, I'll work on that one. That's actually a good question, and I should probably address that and come up with some ways to like tell these guys to safeguard themselves from that kind of shit, because
we've
they get
hinted
wrecked.
We've hinted at the dependopotamus many times.
Well, I mean, I've seen countless guys get out of basic training, AIT, go to their first duty station. Now, they miss home, but they know they can't go home, so they try to build their own home by marrying some skank, and then they just get creamed.
And
I've told like countless guys, I'm like, don't do that. Don't think with your dick. Oh, yeah, you're 21. Listen to me. Don't do. Oh, you did.
You're 13 years away from actually knowing what the fuck you're doing. So
Yes.
please.
And then I married the stripper and she's pregnant. I'm like, that's gonna work out really well for you. Not.
I wouldn't even want to, like, you could probably take a black light back to her apartment and see it from space.
Yes.
It's like, you don't even want to know. You would not even want to know.
That is just horrid, just the thought of it.
And the funny thing is that those 3 words that seem to hook in so many dudes, that I am different.
Oh my God, I know.
And it works especially on younger dudes, it seems, because
Because they're dick fingers.
this trend of young dudes going into the military and then they marry some skank or they try to marry their high school sweetheart or some shit. It's still going on. It doesn't seem to really be dying down.
Nope.
And yet, I mean, anybody who's been in the military has seen this at least half a dozen times. At least.
I've seen it dozens and dozens of times.
Well, you've been in for a while. I mean, if you're talking about like a 4-year enlisted dude, you're going to see it at least like a half dozen times.
Yeah.
You've been in for 30.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've been around.
And you're a paper pusher too, so you got people coming in.
Oh my
telling
God.
you fucking sob stories.
I can't tell how many times guys walk in front of my desk and I have nowhere to go and I have no money. I'm like, oh, you married and fucked the stripper, didn't you? Yep. Yep. Well, grab a rack,
That's
get
what
some
happens,
MREs.
man.
We'll take care of you tomorrow. Just shut the hell up. There's a TV back in there. Turn it on. I want to hear you.
Go watch Barney.
Yep.
I'm going to be over here watching Space Ghost.
I've seen that so many times. It's like you can see the train wreck and you're way back and you're just like watching the sparks and it go off the cliff and there's nothing you can do.
And before these dudes tie the knot, I mean, they have to hear the story.
Oh, yeah.
They have to know. And it doesn't really take too much imagination. I mean, I've never been in the service, but I mean, obviously, we're friends. My brother has been in the Navy for 22 fucking years.
Yeah.
We've heard the stories enough to where you can kind of formulate how the idea of an absentee husband who's just going to take off and send his money back home to wife is a real attractive offer to a young skank who still just wants to ride the cock carrot.
That is why I made Deploy Ahoy.
Yes.
Because that's a whole strategy how to, guard your 6 when you're deployed in a box. Because the last thing you want to find out when you're in the box is like
Somebody else is in your box.
Yes, yeah. Some other dude is in your wife's box. It's not good.
No, it's not a good thing to come home to.
No. Plus, your head's not in the game. It's just a bad thing.
Bad news bears.
I've had a lot of guys get the Dear Johns, or they get the letter that they're banging some other dude. I've had one guy go home on mid-tour leave, and then they told him the kid that he came home for the birth of a kid, and said it might not be his. I was like, holy shit. Oh.
Wow. Oh, you poor son of a bitch.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I thought that was funny. Like my mom's got a boyfriend, and he was always fucking with her and stuff. Like when we got pregnant with Clark, and he's like, wonder if the baby's gonna come out black. And I just look at him and I'm laughing, and my mom's like, "That's terrible." I'm like, "He's fucking with you. It's not a big deal." It's only a big deal if I think it might be possible. Like, no, pretty sure we're all good.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
that'd be
my
a
baby's
shocker.
not half black. We're all good.
That'd be a shocker. I mean,
It's not like that Maury episode where the two white parents, and then the black kid's like, I'm pretty sure the baby's mine. Like, oh really, Jamal?
yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. It never ends well. Never ends well.
Oh shit! Like stuff like that.
They're
It's
just-
just crazy enough to possibly be true. Like half of that shit's got to be scripted and planned out
I
ahead
don't.
of
I
time
know.
and stuff.
Ever since like that one dude went on there and got ambushed by another gay guy, and then he shot him. Remember that?
No.
I haven't watched that shit since. That was some dark times, man. The dark times.
Hey, you know what? If Maury Povich is on your TV at all, it's definitely dark times.
Yeah, yeah. I can't argue with that.
Jerry Springer too.
Not a fan of him.
No.
No. I think I would, if he was in Baghdad, might have shot him.
Allahu
That's just
Akbar!
hypothetically.
That's my
hypothetically-
final thought.
Hypothetically, you know.
Curly-haired bastard.
Yeah, that's a lot of times I'll say that insult. Like, good thing I didn't run into you in Baghdad. That means I probably would have whacked you.
Oh, you're gonna cut me off without using a signal, huh? It's a good thing it's not Baghdad, motherfucker.
It's a good thing you're not doing this in Baghdad, or we'd run you right over. Have the Bradley shoot you, set you on fire, drag you around a little bit.
Smells like justice. So that's it. That's all of it. We answered the questions and we went off
Finish
on
my beer.
We had like 9 questions and half a dozen tangents. So,
Boom.
but hey, whatever works. This is why you guys watch, right? Is because this is how, I mean, it seems completely disorganized, but that's because it is. But that's basically how the show itself is actually run, so.
It's like an orchestra of insanity mixed with chaos.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
And speaking of conducting chaos, check out the links in the description for Patreon and PayPal. Toss us a couple of bucks so we can keep on doing this because it takes a lot of time. A lot of time.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Are you going to intimidate people into subscribing?
No.
All right, fine. I'll intimidate
No,
people.
you do it.
No one finds me intimidating. But here, click on the subscribe button because if you don't, it's a good thing it's not Baghdad.
It's a good thing I didn't run into you in Baghdad.
Because then you'd have to fucking subscribe.